Well, Laura, there is some serious questions being raised about exactly how sick the Prime Minister is right now. And we've been hearing for days that he's okay. He's had mild symptoms that became persistent symptoms in the last few hours. And now we've heard he's been moved to intensive care. Now, Downing Street are trying to play down as much as they can the seriousness of his illness while also giving out information about a patient in this case. But there's a real worry about how will the country be run while Mr Johnson is in intensive care, or if he does require a ventilator, what the protocol will be if he does get worse. Now, we've been told that it is a precaution at the moment if he does require extra specialist treatment, but it's not a great sign. And this is at the moment where we've had more than 5,000 deaths in the UK from coronavirus, and a good scenario will be 20,000. We would really hope and pray that Mr Johnson does not become one of those statistics.
Yeah, that's right. Dominic Raab held a media conference just a couple of hours ago. Now he says that the official line was that he was in good spirits, and then hours later Boris Johnson is admitted to ICU. You'd have to think the British Prime Minister would have the best care available to him. So reading between the lines, this must be very serious.
Yes, Laura, I think they wouldn't be taking any risks with him at all, because no one wants to see anyone die of the coronavirus, let alone Mr Johnson in his current role. And there's his public role, but there's also his private role, Laura, that we must keep in mind and consider. He is about to become a father again. His partner, fiancée rather, Carrie Simons, is pregnant. She's due in the summer or the winter for you over there. So she also had coronavirus and has recovered from it. So I think what this does say is this coronavirus can move quite quickly, and we've heard a lot of patients anecdotally say that they get a temperature, then they get a cough, and they feel like they're going to get better, and then they get worse later on. So Mr Johnson may be going through that same motion of symptoms, but we've just got to be really careful in how we report it, but also I don't think we can underplay the seriousness of the situation here.
Okay, certainly a worrying situation there in the UK. Who's in charge, quickly, just before I let you go? Who's in charge of the country at the moment?
So, well, this is where the semantics get a little bit cute. They're trying to say that Mr Johnson is still in charge, that Boris is still running the show. He is conscious at the moment, which is a good sign, but there's got to be a point where he might need to prioritise his own health rather than the country's, because one of the things that may help in some way is to try and rest while he's recovering from the coronavirus or battling it. But officially, he's still in charge, but Dominic Raab has been deputised to do some of his duties. Now, we would hope that common sense prevails and Dominic takes on more of those roles, as many as necessary. But they're trying to hold the line and keep a stiff upper lip at this stage. But it's changed a lot in the past few hours, Laura, and I'm sure it might change a bit in the next few hours over here.
I think so. Stephen Drill, thanks so much for the update. We'll speak to you again soon.